This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated. Jihadist Psychopath by Dr. Jamie Glazov. I will tell you as an expert on Sharia, as a former child bride who has suffered and faced my own jihadi psychopath. I want you to go and order this book on Amazon.com or go to jamieglazov.com. Get a copy for yourself. You know why? Because you need to be equipped with the knowledge to fight our enemy so you can save your daughters and your granddaughters from future of Islam.
Hello, this is a Clare Lopez moment brought to you by the Glazov Gang. We'll all recall the story of Mossab Yusuf, the incredibly courageous son of Hamas co-founder Sheikh Hassan Yusuf. He became known as the Green Prince after he defected from Hamas and worked for 10 years undercover with Shin Bet, the Israeli intelligence service. He is credited with helping to thwart dozens of terror attacks planned by Hamas between 1997 and 2007. He converted to Christianity in 1999 and eventually made his way to the United States. Now, this Hamas Sheikh's second son has defected. The old man's hair must be completely white by this point. Suhaib Yusuf is the younger brother of Mossab Yusuf, but unlike his older brother, he did not defect to Israel or work with the Israeli security services. Instead, he left his post in Turkey, where he'd been assigned to what's euphemistically called a Hamas political branch. But as Suhaib Yusuf explained to the Israeli journalist to whom he recently told his story, that so-called political branch is actually a spy unit where Hamas operatives, such as himself, operate sophisticated high-tech equipment to eavesdrop on Palestinian Authority conversations in Ramallah, the Palestinian Authority's West Bank headquarters. So much for talk about reconciliation and reunification between Hamas and the Palestinian Authority. But the Palestinian Authority is not the only target of these Hamas surveillance operations. According to Yusuf, they are also aimed at Israel and a number of unidentified Arab countries too. But here's a very interesting point. The information collected by Hamas operatives like Yusuf from listening posts inside Turkey is not just for the Palestinian cause, he said. No, it's also sold to Iran in return for financial assistance from the Tehran regime. Some of that payment from the mullahs is channeled through Turkish banks to the Hamas spy unit in Turkey. It is widely known that Iran also provides extensive financial and other support to the Hamas leadership in Gaza, too. So, as I've noted here, what really caused Suhaib Yusuf to defect from Hamas was not the same motivation as for his older brother Mossab. Suhaib was operating in a different milieu and did not decide, as Mossab did, to help Israeli security or to work specifically to counter Hamas's Islamic terror operations. What really got to Suhaib was the incredible corruption he saw at the top levels of Hamas leadership with which he worked inside Turkey. He witnessed their extravagant lifestyles, the cushy country clubs they belonged to, the luxurious hotels and expensive restaurants they enjoyed, where even a single entree course sometimes cost as much as the average worker in Gaza made in salary in an entire month. He knows well the level of poverty and suffering of the ordinary people in Gaza and was sickened by the self-centered, callous disregard for their plight that he saw on the part of those senior Hamas officials in Turkey. He realized that all the public protestations by Hamas figures about their supposed distress over the living conditions in Gaza were nothing more than kabuki theater. He felt both disgusted and betrayed, and that's what really drove him to defect. For us, though, there is even more to unpack here. To start with, there's the fact that the pro-Hamas Muslim Brotherhood regime of Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan permits Hamas operatives to run military and security operations on Turkish soil in collaboration with the jihad regime in Tehran. Yes, Turkey is running jihad operations on U.S. soil too, in collusion with the U.S. Muslim Brotherhood, as I've spoken about in an earlier video here. And Turkey is supposed to be a NATO ally of ours? Now, Hamas is an Islamic terror organization whose very covenant asserts that its raison d'etre is the annihilation of the Jewish state of Israel. Quote from the covenant, Israel will exist and will continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. Hamas is the Palestinian branch of the Muslim Brotherhood, a jihadist organization dedicated to a global caliphate under rule of Islamic law, or Sharia, from its founding in 1928 in Egypt. Hamas has been on the U.S. Foreign Terrorist Organizations list since 1997. Hamas also has been designated a terrorist organization by Australia, Israel, Japan, New Zealand, the European Union, and the United Kingdom, and with good reason, being responsible for literally thousands of suicide bombings, rocket and mortar attacks, shootings, and kidnappings, many of them targeted against Israel. It is the Hamas leadership in Gaza that directs the weekly assaults against Israel, launching balloons and kites with incendiary devices attached to burn hectares of Israeli cropland. It is the Hamas leadership in Gaza that fires rockets and missiles at Israeli towns and cities, increasingly now equipped with precision guidance systems that only add to their lethality, with the express purpose of maiming and killing Israeli civilians. Much of that ordnance and technology is provided to Hamas by the Iranian regime. These are the thugs that Erdogan's Turkey is allied with and whom he allows to operate on Turkish territory. Yes, Turkey was once a key NATO ally, but as the Center for Security Policy's 2018 monograph, Ally No More, Erdogan's New Turkish Caliphate and the Rising Jihad Threat to the West, described, its behavior under the rule of Erdogan's Justice and Development Party, the AKP, has been anything but friendly to the U.S. or Israel, our most important partner in the Middle East. Open reference to waging jihad by senior Turkish officials, including against our Kurdish partners. Frequent and menacing reference by Erdogan himself to reviving the Ottoman Empire, and the close collaboration of Turkish officials with the U.S. Muslim Brotherhood on U.S. soil all have given good reason for alarm about where Erdogan and the AKP are taking Turkey. And indeed, Turkish collaboration with the genocidal Hamas terror outfit is nothing new. But the tripartite axis of jihad among Iran, Qatar, and Turkey is, and Erdogan allowing Hamas to conduct espionage operations on Turkish soil aimed at Israel and other U.S. allies and partners in the Middle East, paid for by Iran directly through Turkish banks, is the reprehensible behavior of an enemy regime, not a NATO ally. These most recent revelations about Hamas espionage operations being run out of Turkey must be addressed on an urgent basis at the top levels of U.S. national security. Hoping you will share this video widely, and please support the Glazov Gang at jamieglazov.com, and please subscribe to this Glazov Gang YouTube channel. Thank you.